It was John David's last game for Lille, Craig. And boy, I mean, they love him there, don't they? You were talking about it on the dark web. I think you actually went on Twitter as well. To see a club and its fans give a farewell to a player who's leaving for bigger and better things, he hopes, says a lot about that guy and where he stands in Lille.
Yeah, it's rare. You don't see it very often where a player is leaving a club and leaving a club with such high regard. Like, fans love him. They wish him the best. Very rare in European football. They usually
look at the way Trent's being handled right now, Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cool.
It's not. Did you hear Andy Robertson talk about that? Obviously one of his best mates, but he said, I thought it was really kind of measured, because obviously you want to go in, you want to admonish fans, and be protective, immediately go into like mama or papa bear mode, right? To protect your buddy and your teammate. But he said, I can't tell you how to feel, right? To see like a legend leave the club. And obviously there's going to be mixed emotions, but I think there has to be the respect that's built in. So it was really well said by him, if you want to go back and listen to that soundbite. But you're right, Forrest. It's a rarity, I think, in pro sports, but especially in football, to leave and to be lauded like that and to be clapped off and regard and held in such high regard. So looking forward to seeing where he's off to. But did you guys see that Promise David now is being rumored to perhaps going to League One over from Belgium?
Maybe even Lille.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? It makes sense. There's history there. I wonder if it's partly, though, because you're conditioned as a fan of Lille to see your players take the next step, right? Because you understand you're not the biggest team, Jimmy. Whereas at Liverpool, you see yourself as being, listen, well, you can't get bigger than this or better than this. Why would you? How could you possibly want to leave? Is that the difference here?
Yeah, I think, when you look at a lot of League One teams, or even teams all around Europe in general, at the end of the day, the majority they're feeders, right? So the produced players develop them, sell them on, make money. And Lille understands where they are in the pecking order. They know they can't compete with the big clubs in Europe. And when you have a special talent that comes along and produces for you, and they've got to move on to that next step, then the fans, they showed it. They're appreciative of the work that the individuals put in. And, when I look at Liverpool and you see Trent's done everything for Liverpool. He's won absolutely everything that there is. He's won a Premier League. He's won Champions League, the FIFA Club World Cup. So when a player who's come through your system, who's give everything to the club and wants to move on, wants another challenge, maybe experience another culture, I think you have to be appreciative of that. And I understand, he's from Liverpool and he's come through the system. He needs to be here for the whole duration of his career. I don't agree. I think the fans should be appreciating him and let him explore his journey and support him.
I think especially since he's going elsewhere, right, Forrest? Like, he's going to Real, and maybe like John David wouldn't be, getting the type of adulation that he's receiving if he was going to PSG. Obviously, it would be a different story, right? So maybe like as a fan, you're better able to compartmentalize it and to appreciate what they've done for your club, because they're going, you might face them in one of these big competitions. You might face them again in Champions League, but for the most part, they're going to be doing it in a different league. Do you think that makes it a little bit more palatable?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. If he all of a sudden signed for PSG, they might change their tune a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is a club too that could have cashed in on him a year and a half ago before his contract runs out.
Right.
They got great value for him, but still, most clubs will get to a point with a player like this where we're now going to dip into the market and try to get something back for him.
Yeah.
They might have got 60, 70 million for him.
Yeah, they could have. And then you kind of look at it and think, okay, well, do we sell him, or this guy is going to get us back into Champions League, or he's going to get us back into Europe? Right? We don't know what the next guy is going to do. And then all of a sudden we're finishing mid-table. So it's a difficult situation. I'm sure there was some great conversations behind the scenes, but I think they've done it right, because he's off, but they're still in Europe.
Right.
True.
And again, that's the reason why I think the criticism of Trent is unfair, is because he ran his contract down. He didn't demand a transfer mid-contract. He did it the right way. Sure, they could have cashed in and made lots of money, but he also helped them get to the Champions League and win a championship. So yeah, he's leaving for free, which you never really want to see. Again, another Maple Leaf, a little synergy there happening. Players walking out the door rather than actually providing real value during the season. Rantanen, God damn it. Anyway, I'm still.
Why would you bring that into your discussion?
I can't. It's dominating my thought process. Still, it's been rough. It's a rough loss on Sunday for us Leaf fans. A particularly rough one.
48 hours later, it's still rough.
Mm-hmm. It really is. At least I had Liverpool champions. But yeah, that I think most fans at Liverpool understand and appreciate what he did. But I guess they're different situations. Where will John David end up? I know Matty Shinetti's been on the case and saying he'll have an answer in 2 to 3 weeks, which makes obviously a lot of sense. But where Inter Milan was the most recent one, really hot and heavy rumors regarding that, which would be a great move for him. But from a selfish standpoint, we discussed it before. I want to see him in England. I don't watch the Serie A. I want to watch the Premier every weekend with John David. But Inter, if that is the final destination, is a pretty great team to go to. It's going to be a potential European champion. Would you rather go, Jimmy, to a European champion or a team that just fell short, that still hasn't reached the peak, and that perhaps a team that you can power to the peak?
Well, that's a good question. I think I would personally go with the team that's won a championship. Yeah, team that's won a championship, because then they're proven winners. They know how to win. They know the sacrifice that needs to go into it. That's what I would do personally. But I think, there's still that talk about him going to Barcelona. That's a club. That's his boyhood dream, was to play for Barcelona. So that's still on the table. I could imagine him going there.
And most recently, I think it's Napoli who's put forth an offer, according to Fabrizio Romano. Juve has also reportedly been. Who hasn't been associated or linked with Jonathan David at this point, right?
Yeah.
But he said a few times now that his favorite and preferred league is La Liga. Mm-hmm. That's a league that he watched growing up.
Jesse Marsh was talking about this over the weekend in a press availability, which we forgot about. Didn't forget about
Holiday Monday.
Holiday Monday. We have
Monday. Let's be honest.
Our good folks at The Athletic have it covered. Josh Cloak as usual. So some of the quotes are from Jesse Marsh. Knowing Johnny, he's going to want to play. He's going to want to go to the best club he can be at, and I think achieve the most in terms of what it would mean to compete for trophies in Europe. But he's going to want to play as well, and I think that's important. I think the most important thing for him is it's not good if he goes somewhere and then he has to play on the bench a lot and not get minutes to keep himself sharp and fit and ready to go, especially with the World Cup being a year away. Is that what he thinks John David thinks, or is that what Jesse Marsh really is hoping John David thinks? Is he sending a message? John, we need minutes here. We need minutes. Please go somewhere where you're going to play. Because, World Cup next year.
Well, he's got a point.
He does.
Yeah.
But I think wherever he goes, he's going to be playing.
I have to say, he's playing it pretty well, though, John David, because I assume, and these are big assumptions, that his agent's working extra hard. He's probably got it narrowed down right now. And just to get that send-off and not let anything sneak out, back to your point about what clubs, what leagues, and, and I was just watching the fans clap him off and his teammates hugging him as he went off for the last time. And it was emotional but exceptional and memorable because the fans were all behind it. But had it leaked out that, hey, he's going to play at PSG or play, against someone Lille has competed with historically, that changes the dynamic immediately, right? To maybe an Alexander-Arnold approach where they're like, screw him. I don't care about his legacy. I don't care about his goals to games ratio, any of that. It changes everything, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, then when he would come back to his home ground, they'd boo him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's done well. He done well. It was a great, going back to when he made the decision to go to Lille. He really played that well too. It was a perfect club for him. talk about getting an opportunity. They stuck with him. I think he didn't start off particularly well out of the gates for him, but he soon found his feet and was brilliant over his period there.
He must be having a laugh with all the speculation, though. Just looking at his phone, Napoli, nope. Juve, no. Man United, nope.
What a place to be. You're right, eh? What a place to be.
And there was a post, I saw a post that was like, John David going to make his decision over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Really? Of course. I mean,
he's a free agent. Yeah.
So you think it's already done? You think it's done and dusted? He knows at this point?
There's a fair chance.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Fair chance.